One guy I did want to ask you about
Yep.
is Nelson Agholor, because I read some things,
Yep.
and listen, I don't want to go crazy, but you talked about Jones and Agholor on that play,
Yep.
the slot corner blitz. They were on the same page. It would have been a big play. I did read some things yesterday on Twitter, some observations from guys that were there watching, that Agholor had a pretty good day. He might have even looked better than people expected him to look. What'd you think?
Yeah, I thought he looked good. Out of all the receivers, he was the one that sort of popped off to me. So yeah, I thought he looked good. I thought he played fast. He definitely played it, or at least he looks like he plays at a different speed than, say, like a Philip Dorsett or even a Demir Bird. Guys who are known to be fast, but don't really play that fast. They don't play up to their speed. And Agholor looks like a guy who plays faster than his time speed. I thought Bourne looked fine. Also, I thought Hunter Henry looked solid, even though, to be honest, he didn't really pop that much to me. I'm not saying anything negative about him. I think other people remarked that they thought he looked really good. I just thought he looked fine. I will say the new tight end that they just signed, I forget what his name is, but he looks like strictly a blocking option. He does not have much juice down the field. I will say the two guys who stood out the most to me, other than Mac Jones, and I would probably put Agholor number 2, was J.J. Taylor, the running back. I think he's one of your guys. JJ was a guy who impressed last year, especially he's surprising. He may be really small, and he is really small. But he catches the ball extremely well down the field. We didn't really see that today, but just in terms of the way he moved, and he looks like he added some upper body strength. His legs look humongous. He looks like a little bowling ball. He now looks like Mini Mac Heron. People referenced Mini Mac Heron last year. Now JJ Taylor looks like Mini Mac Heron, and which is a good development because James White, he was one of the guys who didn't report, or at least wasn't at practice yesterday. He's in the final year of his deal. It was even iffy whether he was coming back here. So that's good. And I will say the other guy who stood out to me, and look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I studied the kicker reps at all.
Oh boy.
Because but they were kicking on the field closest to us, but there was work going on, more important things to watch. But every time I looked over, this dude was popping the ball all over the place. I mean, in a good way. He was launching the ball. The ball was coming off his foot. Every field goal was like almost through the top of the crossbars. Was this undrafted free agent Quinn Nordin? I don't know his deal. I mean, I think he's from Michigan. He was the only undrafted free agent. But I'll just say, Nick, you've probably heard this because you know a lot about sports. But there's certain people when they do things, when they hit a baseball, when they and it just sounds different. When they hit a golf ball, there was a young amateur golfer that I heard at a tournament that I was covering. I could hear her from the parking lot hitting on the driving range, and it was just different. She went on to have a very good LPGA career, even though I can't remember what her name is right now. No, it was a little bit before that. My wife would know because my wife was playing in that tournament. But there's just certain when you're around fields and courses and things like that, hockey arenas, slap shots.
Yep.
Things just sound different. And the ball off of Nordin's foot just sounds different. It just does. It makes you pay attention. Look, I don't know whether he can hit the broadside of a barn. I just thought it was interesting for one day. I was like, hey, who the hell is that 61 kid who keeps killing the ball? Well, that's him. Something to monitor.
Yeah, Quinn Nordin from Michigan. I watch him a little bit. I happen to have a buddy of mine that is a hardcore Michigan fan, so I've actually seen him kick sometimes at games.